Oh man, this is gonna be funny. The Memphis Grizzlies just lost in the first round to the Lakers in 6 games. And we have to talk about the Grizzlies as a whole. Throughout this entire season, they paraded around acting like they were the big dogs in the West. They were a dynasty. They're the team to beat in the Western Conference. This and that. Their confidence turned into arrogance and cockiness. And in all honesty, everyone was just waiting for this team to be humbled, including me, especially me. So with this loss now, I personally believe that the Memphis Grizzlies are just a team that is all bark and no bite. Now, I'm not going to act like the Grizzlies are not a good team, because they are. Since the arrival of Ja Morant back in 2020 when they drafted him, and by acquiring other great pieces, they have become one of the best teams in the Western Conference. Ja Morant has become a superstar caliber player, Jaren Jackson Jr. is one of the best defensive players in the league and one of the best centers in the league, and Desmond Bane has become a solid shooting guard, who are coached by a great coach in Taylor Jenkins. But here is the issue. They act like they are all high and mighty, and they act like they're a championship team, when in actuality, they have not done anything. I'm not saying they shouldn't be confident in their ability, but this is just ridiculous. They are delusional. Since they made the playoffs of 2021 after beating Golden State in the play-in, they developed a certain type of attitude, and at first, it was understandable. They were a team that nobody expected to make it to the playoffs. No one had any confidence in them, and then they were able to prove the critics wrong. I understand that. But then over time, they started becoming too cocky, and they started to just become this team that ended up talking a lot of trash, and they haven't had a lot of accolades to back it up. This is where the rivalry between them and the Warriors comes into play, because they had their little thing going on last season, and then Dillon Brooks proceeds to say this.
And we just kept building and building and building, and more guys got on the train, and we were able to, create something like this and, keep building this dynasty. And
then the Warriors proceed to beat the Grizzlies in the second round of the playoffs in 6 games, and the Warriors won that matchup as they would go on to win a championship, and Clay would get the last laugh.
There was this one player on the Grizzlies who tweeted strength in numbers after they beat us in the regular season, and it pissed me off so much. I can't wait to retweet that thing. Freaking bum. You're gonna mock us? Like, you ain't ever been there before, bro. We've been there. We know what it takes. So to be here again, hold that.
While the Grizzlies did lose in the second round, they were able to bounce back from the situation this year. But this is where the cockiness sets in for the Grizzlies. Then to make matters worse, Ja Morant went on to say this infamous quote.
Who do you look at around the league as you're studying and say, we're gonna have to run through them?
Celtics.
No one in the West.
Nah, I'm fine in the West.
This one line set off a chain reaction amongst basketball fans and the media as well, especially from Shannon Sharpe and Skip Bayless.
The Grizzlies do a lot of talking for a team that's not won anything.
Good point.
Not just Ja, all of them. What have they won? The last time the Grizzlies made the Western Conference Finals, Ja was 13.
The Memphis Grizzlies became the most unlikable team in the league, and everyone knew it. While they are a talented group of players, they are a team that is desperate for people's respect, but they don't give it in return. You gotta earn that, and they have not earned anything or won anything that results in them talking the way that they do compared to other teams in the league. Look at a team like the Kings, who are actually a team that deserves to talk trash because they actually proved people wrong. For years, they were the talk of the NBA. They were clowned by NBA fans alike. No one believed in this team whatsoever. People were saying that they were the team that was known for drafting Marvin Bagley over Luka Doncic and how they were cursed and they made all these trades that led to nothing. But then they ended up making the playoffs this year, and they are going against the defending champions in the Golden State Warriors, and they are actually holding their own. This is a type of team that deserves to actually talk trash and parade around with confidence and swagger because they earned that. The Grizzlies, they earned nothing. They earned nothing. The last time they were relevant was back in the grit and grind era, and they actually accomplished things. They even made it to the conference finals. This Grizzlies team has not made it to the conference finals, so they actually have no right to talk like they won something or act like they are this big top dog in the Western Conference. But while the Memphis Grizzlies and Ja Morant especially have their faults and how overconfident they are, Ja Morant is not the biggest problem on the Memphis Grizzlies. His delusional teammate is. Which brings us to the most unlikable player on the team, Dillon Brooks. He is the player that became public enemy number one with his antics and how he blatantly attacks other players, and people have voiced their dislike for him. Because me personally, I do not like Dillon Brooks whatsoever. I do not like how he acts like he's better than he is, because while yes, he is a decent defender, he is not this all-around player he thinks he is. He is one of the most inefficient players I have ever seen in NBA history, and the fact that he acts like he's better than he is really makes me just laugh. It's hilarious. I find it very hilarious. And whether you like Draymond Green at all, he has a point about how Dillon Brooks is not that good of a player, and apparently the Grizzlies were looking to move him at the trade deadline, so this quote aged very, very well.
If you ever wondered why the Memphis Grizzlies is not ready to compete for a championship, look no further than this idiot right here. I'm trying to figure out why they like you in Memphis. The dynasty starts after you, not with you. And that's just a fact.
And it is hysterical how much this man talks smack to other players. He single-handedly made the Grizzlies unlikable as a team and as a franchise, and he's probably the cause for why they lost in the first round to the Lakers in the first place. Because he's the one that wanted to guard LeBron James. He was the one that said guarding him wouldn't be that much of a task because he's so old now. He was the one that was poking the bear. This would end up happening.
James is fouled and one. LeBron!
Then to make it even funnier, Brooks does not even want to talk to the media after being embarrassed by LeBron and the Lakers. So for all that trash talking, he ends up not wanting to even back it up and talk to the media. It just shows you how much of a delusional person Dillon Brooks is. Now granted, Ja Morant suffering that injury in game 1 and him being sidelined in game 2, I can understand why people may think that may be a deciding factor as well. But here is the difference. Ja Morant ended up coming back and dropping 45 points, and the Memphis Grizzlies had a chance to win every single game besides game 3. So there is no excuse. And as I said in my last video, if the Memphis Grizzlies did not make it to the conference finals at least, then no one would take them seriously as a title contending team. And it seems like what I said has become a reality. Now, do I think the Grizzlies can bounce back? Absolutely. But as far as I'm concerned, this squad finally got what was coming to them. You have no idea how happy I was to see the Lakers beat them. It was just marvelous to see. Now, to the Memphis Grizzlies, I say this. Was it really worth it? You guys saying you guys are fine in the West, all that trash talking, all that showboating, was it really worth it? I hope now you guys can realize that after all of that, you guys were never, and I mean never, fine in the West. I will see you guys on the next one. NBA Nerd out.